know we're getting ready. Look how quiet they got.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Tuesday, October 17th, 2023 meeting of the Indian River County Board of County Commissioners. We will start off with a moment of silent reflection for our first responders and member of the armed forces. Then with it followed by an invocation by the Pastor Chris Coleman from the Lutheran Church of the Redeemer, and then a pledge of allegiance led by Commissioner Joe Fleischer. So if everybody would please rise.
We begin our meeting in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for gathering us here to do the business of the county. We pray that you would bless our meeting today, that you would give the county commissioners wisdom as they deal with the business of the day, and we thank you for the opportunity to come together to do that work. All these things we pray in Jesus' name. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance to the greatest nation on earth, the United States of America, land of the free because of the brave. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all.
Pastor Colvin, thank you. All right, moving on to the rest of the meeting. Commissioners, any additions or deletions or emergency items?
Mr. Chair, move approval.
Second.
Got a motion by Commissioner Fleischer, second by Commissioner Moss. Anybody from the audience wish to comment on the motion? Seeing none, Commissioners, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Thank you. All right, moving on to proclamations and presentations. And we're going to start out with a presentation of proclamation honoring the 2023-2024 Indian River County Fire Rescue Lieutenant, Sergeant, Engineer, Fire Medic, and Unit of the Year. So we'll start off by reading the proclamation. Let's get everybody down here. This is a proclamation honoring the 2023-2024 Indian River County Fire Rescue Lieutenant, Sergeant, Engineer, Fire Medic, and Unit of the Year. Whereas on December 17th, 1923, local volunteers established the first fire department in Indian River County, the Vero Beach Volunteer Fire Department. And whereas over the course of the past century, the department transitioned from a volunteer to a career organization, from a department crewed solely by trained firefighters to today's crews who are dual certified in firefighting and emergency medical response, as well as being trained in a multitude of specialized disciplines and disaster response. And whereas in 2021, the leadership of the Indian River County Fire Rescue reinstituted the longstanding tradition of annually recognizing those among their ranks who perform their duties in a manner that exemplifies a competency reflecting the highest of standards, supporting fellow fire medics in achieving their goals, supporting the department's goals and policies, and regularly demonstrating the ability to lead or follow based upon existing circumstances. And whereas Indian River County Fire Rescue is proud to announce the award recipients for 2023-2024, Lieutenant of the Year, Brad Eskew, Sergeant of the Year, Mem Strote, Engineer of the Year, Blake Bartholomew, Fire Medic of the Year, Tomas Barkowski. How did I do? Okay. And Unit, Donald Jones, Garrett Dancy, Bryant Smith, and Mario Navarro. Now, therefore be it proclaimed by the Board of County Commissioners of Indian River County, Florida, that the board supports the efforts of our fire rescue department to publicly commend those members whose dedication, loyalty, productivity, and professionalism have been recognized by their coworkers in the chain of command adopted this 17th day of October 2023 and signed by myself as chairman. I can tell you it's an honor to sign this, and I know most of the folks, some of them are new since I left, but of course, your Lieutenant of the Year, Brad Askew, sets a great example, not only in his job, but in the community, doing all the things he does with the association. And he's to be congratulated, because I know he comes from a good family, he's a good man, and he does a great job. So Brad, congratulations. Mem, there she is, right there. So, how many years has it been now you've been here?
I think 27.
Yeah, and she's trained, she has gone above and beyond, training all the new personnel, the new medics, and how to properly provide emergency medicine, and she's just always done a great job, and I appreciate all her efforts for sure. The Engineer of the Year, there must not have been anybody else to give this award to. This is my old friend Blake Bartholomew. Blake, how many years you been there now? 34. It's amazing. Blake is another one that rises to the occasion. He's, I think he's mild-mannered and just easygoing, but when it comes time to get the job done, there's nobody better out there, in my book. And Blake was always willing to train the new guys and new personnel and make sure they knew what they did and see them through and give them really, really good advice. So Blake, congratulations, well deserved. And Fireman of the Year, Tomas. There he is, right there. All right, Tomas, great job. To be honored among this illustrious group is quite special, and so congratulations to you. Now, the next unit, Donald, Jones, Garrett, Brian, and Mario are probably the most important group, because without them, we don't run. We don't run. Trucks don't run, ambulances don't run, vehicles don't run, and they stay pretty busy, as you can imagine, with the fleet of 15-odd stations that we have and all the equipment that we have. So they've always got something to do, and Donald's been a champion for years. I remember when it was just he and Mike taking care of all the stuff and, working out of the county fleet management area instead of our own, and he got it done then, and he gets it done now. So Don, congratulations to you and all your crew and your unit for a job well done. So with that being said, I'm going to turn it over to Chief Rattray.
Thank you, Chairman. I'd like to thank you guys for bringing us all in and honoring our men and women of fire rescue. If you don't mind, I'd like to give them each a plaque. I don't have anything for the unit award as of yet, but I'd like to call them up one by one and get a picture in front if you wouldn't mind. Good?
Chief Johnson?
Yes, I just want to thank everyone for coming here to recognize these great men and women we have. It's always hard to pick out these every year because it's like trying to pick out a diamond from a bucket of diamonds, because all our men and women are so great at what they do. And especially the fleet. Fleet has saved us multiple times, especially since COVID, when we've had trouble getting new trucks and parts and various other things. They have performed miracles trying to get these trucks back on the road. So we give a big thank you to the fleet guys. They are, like you said, they keep us in business. And I'd like to thank everyone for recognizing our men and women. Thank you.
Commissioners. Commissioner Fleischer?
Well, I'll tell you what, Mr. Chairman, I think we got the best of the best right here, and that's no unregard for all of those that are at the other stations right now that couldn't be here today. I think we have a fantastic and a strong professional team, and I don't make it a habit to call 911, but if I had a need, this is the crew that I want coming to my 911 call. I think that we're very fortunate in River County to have the respect and the professionalism and dedication that we have within this group and all who serve in East River County in fire rescue. And I know that there may be others here next year, but I think that it's very honorable that we note that these individuals take so much time to train, so much time to exercise, as you know, as you did for so many years. And it takes a lot from the family, and they're living in quarters and waiting for that call. And they're there when we need them, so thank you.
Commissioner Laurie,
Yes, sir, Chair, I echo what Commissioner Fletcher says. It's just remarkable to hear the years of service that some of them have. And I can't say thank you enough, and congratulations to the award winners.
Madam Vice Chairman?
Yes, thank you. I, again, echo my fellow commissioners. Thank you guys for your dedication to the community. We are a much better community because of you and your service. Congratulations to the winners. And again, just thank you so much for what you do for us on a daily basis.
Commissioner Moss?
Fire rescue was the first thing I saw today. I walked out my door, God bless you. You were there, you were helping a neighbor of mine. I didn't see which neighbor, but isn't that the point? That you're always there to help any of us, anytime any of us need help. And it made me think twice about the term first responders, because there you were. So thank you, and God bless.
Gentlemen, ladies, I want to thank you, commend you, congratulate you, appreciate your service to our community. Just, the county's very proud of you. Thank you so much for all that you do.
Thank you, guys.
You want to do one at a time?
Can I just give them their plaques real quick?
Of course.
Lieutenant Bradley Eskew. Engineer Blake Bartholomew. Sergeant Mim Stroke. Fire medic Tomas Borowski. Sorry. And the unit award, Don Jones and Mario Navarro are here to accept that. The other two are training. I apologize.
Congratulations, guys.
Blake, take care of that award. Thank you all. Congratulations again to everybody. Well deserved. All right, moving on. We'll move on to 5B, and this is a presentation of a proclamation designating October 2023 as Manufacturing Month in Indian River County, Florida. And this will be presented by our Vice Chairman, Susan Adams.
On Helene and everybody you brought with you? Your peeps? Your entourage?
Yes.
Wonderful. All right. It's my pleasure to read a proclamation designating October 2023 as Manufacturing Month in Indian River County, Florida. Whereas the Manufacturing Institute has designated October 6, 2023 as National Manufacturing Day, a kickoff to Manufacturing Month, recognizing the manufacturing industry as vital to the economic health of our county, the state of Florida, and our entire country. And whereas manufacturing is one of the cornerstones of our local economy, helping to sustain our quality of life while fostering a solid and diversified tax base in Indian River County. And whereas Manufacturing Month is an excellent opportunity to shift perceptions in a positive direction regarding this industry while building a foundation for a future manufacturing workforce. And whereas manufacturing provides 2,383 high-wage and high-skilled jobs in Indian River County, with 146 manufacturing firms paying an average annual wage of $60,061, higher than our current average wage of $54,314. This equates to over $143 million in paychecks circulating throughout our local economy each year. And whereas we joined the Indian River County Chamber of Commerce, the Treasure Coast Manufacturers Association, local educators, businesses, and many volunteers in supporting our manufacturing boot camp program, which introduces high school students and young adults to potential careers in manufacturing, thus strengthening our workforce pipeline. And whereas all residents are encouraged to take time to acknowledge Indian River County manufacturers and their employees for the positive economic impact they have in our county, the state of Florida, and our nation. Now therefore be it proclaimed by the Board of County Commissioners of Indian River County, Florida, that the month of October 2023 be designated as Manufacturing Month in Indian River County, adopted the 17th day of October, and signed by all 5 county commissioners. Helene, thank you so much. I know you guys have been doing so much with the manufacturing and the boot camp and working with the schools and the different programs around the community, just to kind of fill that pipeline and build that workforce. So you want to tell us a little bit about what you've been doing?
Sure. For the record, Helene Castletine, I'm the Economic Development Director with the Indian River County Chamber of Commerce. And thank you so much for joining us in recognizing the importance of the manufacturing industry, not just in Indian River County, but throughout the state of Florida, throughout the country, actually. And contrary to what the public's perception is of Florida, we all think Mickey Mouse and the beaches, there are actually 24,600 manufacturers in the state of Florida. So it's really not what people think about, but it's true. So, and in most local communities, manufacturing is the single biggest importer of wealth. As they sell their products outside our area, maybe outside the country, that revenue comes back into our county and is circulated 2 to 3 times. So they're definitely an importer of wealth for Indian River County and for the rest of the country. So from our largest manufacturer in Indian River County, Piper Aircraft, to some of our smaller firms like Pusher Intake or I-1 Moto in Roseland, this really is manufacturing as a key industry for Indian River County. And we salute them, as we do every day. And you're right, we are gearing up for our manufacturing boot camp program for 2024, and we do work very closely with the school district as well as our manufacturers. If I could introduce a couple people who are with me today, if you don't mind. We have Christine Burr. She is a CTE career specialist with Sebastian River High School. We have Allison Moody, who's also a career specialist at Vero Beach High School. We have Carlo Cazio. He is a manufacturer, Novarania, down on South US 1. They make yacht tenders. We have Melody Ippolito, who is with Manpower. She's involved with our boot camp program as well. And Christy Shields, who's the principal of Treasure Coast Technical College, and she is also now the director of the Career and Technical Education programs for the school district. So really appreciate everyone being with me this morning, and thank you again for recognizing the importance of this industry. Thank you. Thank you. Could I take a quick moment and switch gears just 1 second? Since I'm up here, tomorrow is National Chamber of Commerce Day. Yay. So I just wanted to get that out there so everybody knew.
National
So-
Chamber of Commerce Day and Manufacturing Month. You guys have a lot going on.
We do, we do.
Well, we
Can't beat
appreciate
it.
everything you guys are doing with manufacturing and our workforce and economy, and thank you so much.
Thank you. All right.
Presentation.
Okay, yeah. All right.
Guys, congratulations.
Elaine, aren't y'all holding an event tomorrow for National Chamber Day, time and a place?
Well, we are. As a matter of fact, we have an event over at American Icon Brewery. I think it starts at 4:30. It's $5 for our chamber members, but for those who perhaps may want to be a chamber member. So we would encourage you to come out. And then, of course, a week from Thursday, October 26th, is our Industry Appreciation Awards event. And I know many of you are attending that as well. So thank you very much for all your support.
Moving on to 5C. This will be a presentation of proclamation recognizing the month of October 2023 as National Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And this will be presented by Commissioner Lord. I believe Amy Cooper and her folks from Safe Space are here to receive it. Commissioner Lord.
Great. Come on up, ladies. Mr. Chair, it's an honor and a privilege for me to recognize the month of October 2023 as National Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Whereas each day in America, 4 women are murdered by their intimate partners a day. Whereas each day in America, an average of 20 people every minute are abused by their intimate partners. Whereas 1 in 3 American women and 1 in 4 men have experienced some form of intimate partner violence during their lifetime. Whereas National Domestic Violence Awareness Month provides all Americans the opportunity to recommit to ensuring that every relationship be violence-free. And whereas in Indian River County, Safe Space Incorporated joins forces with law enforcement, victim services, criminal justice officials, social service organizations, and concerned citizens to fight domestic violence and provide all domestic violence victims a safe space where they can live with respect, resources, restoration, and justice. Together, their commitment and compassion help to ensure that our community steps forward to support domestic violence and those victims in need. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed by the Board of County Commissioners of Indian River County, Florida, that the board recognizes the month of October 2023 as National Domestic Violence Awareness Month, advocates for relationships rooted in trust, respect, and equality, and express our sincere appreciation for those committed to promoting peace and preventing domestic violence in our community. Adopted this 17th day of October 2023 and signed by all 5 county commissioners. Welcome.
Thank you, Commissioners. Thank you all for recognizing the month of October as Domestic Violence Awareness Month. You all know it's it's still a pandemic that we're always going to be fighting against. For the record, my name is Amy Cooper, CFO of the Indian River County Sheriff's Office and Board President of Safe Space. I wanted to introduce to you all Jennifer Fox. She is our new CEO. She came on board with Safe Space in July, and she has been phenomenal for the first few months that she's had. And so I wanted to introduce her, and I wanted to thank you all. I haven't had much exposure with the other city councils and county commissions throughout the Tri-County area, but I will say that I feel that I'm a little biased. You all are the most supportive, and I really appreciate your support with Safe Space.
Thank you.
So yes, I wanted to thank everybody too for recognizing this month as Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And this month especially, our team is out working hard to make sure that the community is aware of domestic violence, making sure that we are understanding that this is not, domestic violence does not discriminate against, or it's not discriminatory based on demographics, right? So this is happening in every income level, all ethnic backgrounds, in our own neighborhoods. And so just even last year alone, Safe Space had over 4,500 calls to the crisis hotline. We've served 892 adults and children on the Treasure Coast. I mean, these numbers are pretty staggering when you consider that's not even all the people that this is happening to. That's just the people that we've been in contact with. So a lot of times when we're talking about domestic violence and intimate partner abuse, people often will ask, why don't they just leave? And so I'm just wanting us to think about this and imagine if you have maybe 2 little kids, your partner has control of all of the money, you have been isolated from your friends and family, you're really looking at every move you make is being monitored. And there's been threats to your body, to your children oftentimes. And so when you think about all of these things and you're recognizing that at least in this current situation that they're in, they understand that, they recognize this and they know what to expect, and they know that leaving is dangerous. And we're looking at the statistics that show that when victims leave, right, they're 70 times more likely to be killed in the 2 weeks after they leave than any other time in the relationship. So it's a very dangerous time. And a lot of times victims, right, don't have the power and control of their lives. And so at Safe Space, we want to come alongside them, help them regain their power and control in a safe way. And so we're offering those different services like the safe housing. We've got child and adult advocates that are there to help. We want to make sure they have access to our on-staff attorneys for that injunction for protection. Also other local resources, really making sure we're connecting them with the local resources. But oftentimes witnesses to domestic violence don't know what to do, they don't say anything, and so that we're just asking that anybody in here today and anyone that's listening that really take the time to learn more about the issue and to talk about it. We want people to understand that this is everybody's business. It's not just law enforcement and the judges. We all have an obligation to take this on. And so one of the ways that we wanted to bring up today that you can support us is to join us in our Walk a Mile campaign. It sounds like maybe a lot of you have already heard about this. We're doing that again here on October 27th at 5 p.m. So that's at the Main Street Vero Beaches downtown. Friday night we have our red shoes here that we can walk in to show our support. You can also visit our website at safespacefl.org to learn more about the organization, the issue, and then also the events that we have. But I did want to take 1 minute, and I just wanted to thank the Indian River Sheriff's Department. I'm so impressed. I've only been around for about 3 months, but the commitment that they have to survivors is it's very impressive, and you don't always see it this way. So I wanted to thank all of you very much for your support for the survivors, and then for Safe Space as well. It's been great. And then, of course, again, thanking all of you for recognizing this, and I've heard such great support for Safe Space and for our survivors. Well, thank you. Anybody want to say anything?
So obviously Jennifer's new, and so what you don't know is that Sheriff Lohr sits on the commission, and I would not be as involved in this if it weren't for him and his administration. So this started many, many years ago, and I believe you were the first one to don the red high heels.
I was.
And he took a lot of heat for it, and so certainly we appreciate that. I'm actually very proud that she didn't mention it, but we're the only county left still doing the high heels. So Amy actually reached out to Sheriff Mascara yesterday and said, we ponied up money. Are you going to pony up money? And challenged him, and so we're challenging those other sheriff's offices and trying to pressure them a little bit. So we hope that we'll have a big turnout for that event, and hopefully you guys will join us as well. I know many of you have put the high heels on before. It's going to be at Downtown Fridays. But I am proud to say that we have taken this to the next level, and Investigator Greeley is here with us today. She recently received that title, and she is full-time assigned to domestic violence now. So we have alerts that come out all hours of the night where we get notified now about incoming domestic violence calls. We triage each one of those, and we're taking deep dives, taking deep dives into these cases and saying, are these, situations where we've had previous calls, what can we do to help these folks? How can we end this cycle of violence? And so we're taking a proactive approach. And when Jennifer talks about that, we are doing something different here that other places aren't doing. And unfortunately, it's because of the tragedies that we've had. Sheriff, you remember Diana Duvet. In the Safe Space family, we now have Joe Petito. His daughter, Gabby Petito, was murdered. He lives here in our county. And so that's really pushed us to say, what can we do as an organization to really make a difference here? And so I'm proud of the efforts. I think that we're starting to make a dent in it. And I think by the time we get done with this, people are going to come and say, what is Indian River County doing? Because it's something different. So Safe Space is a big part of that. We couldn't do it without them. They're at the table every time we have this conversation. So we thank you for pausing to recognize this and for giving us time to bring this greater issue. I talk to Bob Seuss every Monday morning, and the two things I'm talking about are mental health and domestic violence. They're hitting us every single day. So thank you for pausing and to recognize this month. Thank you.
Anyone else, Sheriff?
Yes.
Commissioners, anything? Thank you. Oh, sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, it's very impressive to see men walking in red high heels. Not only Sheriff Floor, but I walked the walk last year, and I mentioned one other person, because I thought maybe he would help me, because I don't wear high heels a lot, but I was wearing my own shoes. It was Bob Seuss, and anybody who knows him, he's a very large man. He's very tall, and well, I'm not going to guess his weight, but his heels were higher than mine, and he did great. So look forward to it, and thank you for being here. It's so important to get the word out. It's a really serious thing, but it's an interesting way to do it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jeff, who's going to do a picture for us? You got somebody going?
What? Sure? All right. Sheriff?
I got you. I'm going to front row. Take 2 steps to the right so you can be in it. All right, now everybody else, if you're not touching, you're too far away. All right, this one counts, no blinking. Oh, you're all so well trained. Gotcha.
Thank you guys very much.
Thanks, everybody. Thank you, team.
All right, moving on to 5D. This will be a presentation of proclamation designating the week of October 15th through October 21st, 2023 as National Friends of the Library Week, and this will be presented by Commissioner Moss. And I see our head librarian, Elizabeth Stenger, is here, along with some of her staff. So welcome, ladies.
Thank you,
Mr. Moss.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And I'm pleased to welcome all our friends from the Indian River County Main Library, which is in Vero Beach, and also the North County Library in Sebastian. Before I read the proclamation, I'd just like to mention our new website is very good. That's indianriver.gov. If you look under services and then under library services, it will tell you each of the branches, how to get a card, how to renew a card, how to search the system, and more importantly, or more fun maybe, our events. It lists all the events that are occurring at any of the libraries, and you can sign up for a newsletter, which will let you know about the libraries. So please check our new website. That's indianriver.gov under services. But it's my pleasure now to read this proclamation. Proclamation designating the week of October 15th through October 21st, 2023 as National Friends of the Library Week. Whereas Friends of the Indian River County Library and Friends of the North Indian River County Library raise money that enables our library to move from good to great, providing the resources for additional programming, much-needed equipment, support for children's summer reading, and special events throughout the year. Whereas the work of the Friends highlights on a never-ending basis the fact that our library is the cornerstone of the community, providing opportunities for all to engage in the joy of lifelong learning and connect with the thoughts and ideas of others from ages past to the present. Whereas the Friends understand the critical importance of well-funded libraries and advocate to ensure that our library gets the resources it needs to provide a wide variety of services to all ages, including access to print and electronic materials, along with expert assistance in research, reader's advisory, and children's services. Whereas the Friends' gift of their time and commitment to the library sets an example for all in how volunteerism leads to positive civic engagement and the betterment of our community. Now therefore be it proclaimed by the Board of County Commissioners of Indian River County, Florida, that the week of October 15th to the 21st, 2023 be designated as National Friends of the Library Week in Indian River County, and the board encourages everyone to join the Friends of the Library and thank them for all they do to make our library and community so much better. Adopted the 17th day of October, 2023, Board of County Commissioners, Indian River County, Florida, and signed by all 5 commissioners. So the first thing I'll say is thank you, and then I welcome you to speak regarding how people might join you and the different things that you do.
Elizabeth Stenger, Director of Library Services for the county. I wanted to take the opportunity to share with you some of what the Friends do for us. Our Friends raise money through membership and through donations. Additionally, the North County Library Friends run a book sale, used book sale out of the North County Library. Our Indian River County Friends operate the used book depot on Old Dixie and the Friends of the Library gift shop at the main library. Both Friends groups own and collect money from copy machines in the libraries. Both Friends groups sponsor library programming for all ages. They have purchased the AWE children's early learning computer workstations that we have in our children's departments. Our North County Library Friends sponsor all the children's summer special guest series programming. They brought the Florida Humanities Speaker Series to the North County Library, and they paid for the meeting room tables and chairs, as well as the motorized blinds that are in the large meeting room at the North County Library. Our Friends of the Indian River County Library, they paid for the dedication of the Mary D. Snyder Multimedia Room. They have purchased us computers, copiers, laptops, gaming consoles, printers over the years. They pay for the annual subscription to Ancestry and Heritage Quest genealogy databases. They paid for the Marienfeld Library Records Preservation Project this year. They pay the annual hosting fees for our Overdrive ebook platform. And they also pay for our book and DVD lease plan, which allows us to obtain extra copies of the most popular items, which can go to fill holds and reduce wait times. And when we lost state funding for our Career Online High School program, they stepped up and purchased a scholarship so we could keep that going. So all told, combined, our Friends can contribute over $80,000 a year to the libraries, and we're very thankful for that. Here with me today are the Indian River County Friends President Lois Arcara and Treasurer Denise Schwartz. And from the North County Library Friends, we have the President Lynn Walsh and members Kate Jack and Paula Barker. And then our branch managers are here as well, Kathleen Bowman and Holly McDougall from Brackett.
Yeah, it's very impressive.
Yeah.
Like,
You need a Dewey Decimal System just to keep track of all your contributions to our community, the many things that you do.
And that's just a few.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Commissioner Moss, for that heartfelt reading of the proclamation. Our library system is thriving. I'm very proud of it. Under Betsy's leadership and now Cindy joining with her commitment to youth and education is going to take us to new levels. But today's about the Friends. This is long overdue. you've been there for so long for us. And I just want to personally thank all of you. You truly do make us go from good to great. And there are times where the counties, being a larger, growing local government, is not as nimble in acquiring things that the public needs, and the Friends are always there to step up and do it quickly and, complete us as a thriving information system provider. It's not just books anymore, folks. It's information technology, it's coaching, it's literacy, and of course, a suite of online services that are just tremendous. So reach out, find out what's there, but please take a moment to thank the Friends. They truly are selfless in their mission, and I want to continue this relationship for forever. So thank you so much.
May I ask one thing? If someone wants to join the Friends, either group, what's the best way to do that?
Well, if they can make it into the main library this week, we have a table set up for people to join the Friends this week. And at the Brackett Library as well. And at any branch, you can get the application. Or the gift shop. Or the gift shop, or the Book Depot.
Okay. Well, thank you very much.
Or we will personally deliver the applications to you. I'm volunteering.
Wow. That's very impressive. And growing up as a bookworm, special thanks. Appreciate all you do.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you very much.
You can have it.
Squeeze this way. Thank you, ladies. All right, thank you. That was a good day for proclamations. Everybody's, all those well-deserved. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, commissioners, for reading those and being a part of it. Moving on to item number 6, approval of minutes. We'll start out with 6A of the regular meeting of September 12th, 2023.
Mr. Chairman, move approval.
I got a motion by Commissioner Fleischer, second by Commissioner Adams. Anybody from the public wish to comment on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Now we'll take 6B and 6C together. It's the preliminary budget hearing meeting of September 13th, 2023, and the final budget hearing meeting for September 20th, 2023.
Mr. Chair, move approval for both.
I have a motion by Commissioner Fleischer, second by Commissioner Adams. Anybody from the public wish to comment on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Moving on to item 7. This is informational items from staff or commissioners not requiring board action, and it's 7A. It's completion of the September 2023 derelict vessel remover, and I see Melissa and our Director of Natural Resources is here, Eric Cheris. Melissa, welcome. Eric, welcome.
Good morning. Do you have the minutes? Good morning, Melissa Meisenberg, Natural Resources Lagoon Environmental Specialist, and I'm here to give an update about the derelict vessel removal that I brought to you in July.
So just a reminder about derelict vessels and the process. It's not a boat is found, we can go ahead and remove it. There is a step that has to go through law enforcement, and the vessel has to be identified as derelict and then move through the process of finding the potential owner, as well as sending that information to the owner to give them an opportunity to remove the vessel themselves. In addition, through that process, the owner has that opportunity to remove the vessel within 21 days. If they have not removed it, then the officer can go ahead and list that vessel as derelict and give a letter of authorization. However, that letter of authorization has to go through another step that has started in August of this year, which it now goes through Boating and Waterways in Tallahassee. Once they receive the letter, they go through the approval process and then flip it back to the county before we are allowed to remove the vessel. So why is it important to remove those derelict vessels? Well, they create navigational hazards. They leave debris into the environment, pollutants. There's a potential for fuel, cleaners, and electronics on board, as well as damage to our shoreline plants like our mangroves, submerged aquatic vegetation, which is very important within our lagoon, and our oyster reefs. They also become a hazard for people and organisms because people tend to want to explore what's on the vessel, which can become a hazard for them as well as potential other people who could get trapped within the vessel, as well as those marine life. So just to give you a location for these vessels, we had 3 vessels on this removal. Each of them were in areas where they weren't quite a navigational hazard, as they were not within the channel, but they were definitely impeding the environment and creating hazards. Most of these vessels were from the hurricanes that we experienced last year, and so it was important to go ahead and get these vessels moving as they were starting to take on sediment and water at the same time. So if you remember, in July, we brought forth a derelict vessel grant from FWC. Outlaw Maritime was our contracted removal contractor, and the proposal cost was $31,295,000. The removal began on September 5th. We did run into some delays because of hurricanes and weather, and it was completed on September 29th. And the contractor does dispose of all of the vessels per the requirements of FWC at an authorized landfill, and there is documentation of the removal by the contractor. So just to give you a quick overview of some of the removal. So how a boat is removed really depends on where this boat is located, and to reduce impacts to the environment, sometimes it's necessary to bring in heavy equipment. Some boats are easy, they can be floated and pulled out, whereas others require a crane. This particular vessel was on the shoreline in Sebastian. It was wedged between a dock that was incomplete, had never been finished, and the mangrove shoreline. It was causing damage to the mangroves. It was also becoming a hazard for people who were trying to access that dock, as well as the fact that they were climbing on the vessel. This was a very large boat. It was about 48 feet. So it was quite heavy and required a semi to pull it out once they got it out of the water, as well as it was full of water and sediment on that shoreline. Some vessels were in the St. Sebastian River, as you saw on the previous map. This particular vessel was full of sediment. In order to get it out of the water, they had to start digging that sediment out and put it in a dumpster, but ultimately it made its way to the landfill. Our ultimate goal with this process is to clear the environment to make it healthier for people as well as the Indian River Lagoon. Thank you.
Commissioner, any questions of Melissa?
Well, thank you, Melissa. It's a very important mission, and there are still some out there. And it does take time, and I understand that the process is lengthy. There is a high cost to this, as we witnessed by the crane. How well have we been able to recoup some of the losses, expenses, the burden on the taxpayer to get this job done?
Sure. Well, before we go for a derelict vessel removal, we apply through FWC for a bulk derelict vessel grant, and that grant is 100% reimbursement. So once the contractor has completed the job and has submitted all the paperwork back to me and they've received payment, I submit that back to FWC and FWC then forwards that amount. So we go with the grant first so that we get that 100% reimbursement. So on this, we are covered for that entire amount through FWC, and we will be submitting the paperwork shortly.
And that's why we go through the state obligated process to ensure that it is in fact abandoned, it's not a recoverable or insured vessel, that it is then now released to the program.
Not just for the grant, but also because it is considered private property. Even if we didn't use the grant, removing the vessel could hold the county liable if the owner came back for it.
And that's why it was important that you brought up that a lot of people like to explore these
Yes.
vessels. It is unlawful to go onto the vessel.
Absolutely.
It can be very dangerous to go onto the vessel, and we need to leave it in the hands of the proper authority to get it removed.
Absolutely. The vessels are, and Florida has a no salvage law, so unless you're the titled owner of that vessel, you are not to remove anything off of it.
Thank you.
Any more questions? Hey, we've made big strides so far from what we were doing the last couple of years, and it seems like we're getting more adept at making sure we get it done. I know you had a lot of practice.
Well, we're meeting regularly once a month with FWC law enforcement, particularly our officer, Officer Mariquin, who came to a previous board meeting. And I meet with him regularly once a month to talk about where the vessels are. I also flip him pictures. If people send me information about a vessel they're concerned about, he's happy to go out and look at it or get another officer to do it. So we're up to date on where those vessels are. And currently, within the last 2 weeks, FWC has released 3 additional vessels. So we're ready to move on another grant as soon as we get everything squared away.
And again, as you pointed out, that it was a lengthy process. Again, in years past, it used to take several years to remove a vessel. Now it's happening a lot more swiftly, and thank you for all your efforts.
Thank you.
Thank you, Melissa.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Eric. All right, moving on. Back to the consent agenda, item 8. Commissioners, anything you wish to discuss or pulled in the consent agenda?
I'd like to pull 8D.
Which one?
8D?
E Delta.
E?
D. D is in David.
D. Anyone else? Seeing none? Anybody from the audience wish to have anything pulled from the consent agenda for further discussion? Seeing none?
Mr.
Commissioner?
Chair, move approval as amended.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Fleischer for approval as amended, second by Commissioner Adams. Anybody from the public wish to comment on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Madam Vice Chairman, it's all yours.
Yes, thank you. I just wanted to pull this because I wanted to highlight it. I think it is a really great policy, and I'm glad that we are encouraging professional development in our employees and investing in our staff. So I think it's a great opportunity. I applaud it, and I just wanted to pull it to bring some awareness to it, unless you want to add anything, Mr.
You hit the nail on the head. It's an investment in our employees and for their continued professional development and open up other opportunities. Many may come for a job, but we want them to stay for a career.
Fabulous. I think it's awesome and a really cool thing and a great policy. And with that, I'll be happy to move approval.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Adams, second by Commissioner Moss. Anybody from the public wish to comment on the motion? Seeing none, the commissioners, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Thank you. It is a great idea. All right, moving on to item 10, public items. This will be a public hearing, amending the code of Indian River County, section 102.04, order of business agenda for county commission meetings, and amending section 901.03, definitions in alphabetical order. This is legislative in nature. With that, I'll turn it over to the counselor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Bill DeBrawl, County Attorney. The order of business is set by code in the Indian River County Code. As far as the order, you can see that the attached to the memorandum is the proposed ordinance amendment that identifies the new departments that have been added, renames some of the departments, and eliminates the General Services Department. These changes are necessary because everything has changed. I added 2 definitions instead of going through and amending 110 spots in the code that cite to either the Community Development Director or the Community Development Department. I simply identified those and defined them in Section 901. So I'd encourage the chair to go ahead and open the public hearing, take any public comment, and approve the amendment as proposed. Thank you.
Commissioners, any questions of staff? With that, I'll open the public hearing. Public hearing is open. Any from the public have any questions or comments? Please come forward. Seeing none, with that, I'll close the public hearing. Commissioners, your pleasure.
Mr. Chair, move approval.
I have a motion by Commissioner Fleischer, second by Commissioner Lohr. Anybody for the public wish to comment on the motion? Seeing none, Commissioners, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to item 11, County Administrator's Matters, 11A, joint meeting with the City of Vero Beach and Indian River County. Mr. Administrator.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, this is the second joint city-county meeting. If you recall, back in September, we met with the City of Vero Beach, you did as a board, and our collective staff, Sebastian. And now this one is for Vero Beach, which will be on October 24th from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. at the main county library. We do have the issues for the topic for your discussion or for your consideration. Utilities, looking at the service territory, the plant capacity, also discussing septic to sewer. Very similar to some of the conversations, but maybe a little bit different in a larger context, since Vero Beach has a more utility that we intertwine with our territories. Recreation, similar conversation, opportunities, as it relates to parks. They're looking at they have presented the item regarding a mainland boat ramp. And then the lifeguards, in terms of the county potentially acquiring, those services, taking over those services, from the city. And then looking at just various issues such as roadways, building department, fire marshal, just the regional impact of growth on the city. So staff is submitting these for the board's consideration. We agree with the topics, and we look forward to the meeting with Vero Beach, the council, the commission, and then their respective staffs. And our recommendation would be to review, discuss, and approve the topics for discussion.
Commissioners, any question of the county administrator?
Yes, sir.
Commissioner Ball?
It's not a question. I agree with all of these topics, and I think they'll all be very worthwhile if we have extra time. I don't know that we will, although last time we thought we might make it through the agenda, and we did easily, as it turned out. But having served on Vero Beach City Council, I know that there are times when it is helpful to have use or access to or discuss with the county's lobbyists matters that might be in Tallahassee that would affect both parties, that could affect the city and the county. And I'll give you an example. This was from years ago. The airport, there was legislation that was required to make changes at the airport so that it would not be unduly financially burdened. So if there's extra time, it's something just, for consideration. I'm not looking to displace any of these items that we currently have. I think they're all very worthwhile. But there may be something, we're not aware of at the time, that may, at this exact time, that might be helpful for us to discuss together, county and city, not only with our state representatives, but perhaps with our lobbyists, since the city doesn't have lobbyists. So I would offer that.
And I would just share, ma'am, just in the interest of good governance and intergovernmental cooperation, anytime that we have an issue that would jointly affect both the city and the county, I would think the county would, at least from a staff standpoint, I'm sure the leadership that's been exhibited by the commission in my 6 months, that we would clearly, want to make sure that we're representing, those interests before the state in using our lobbyists as well.
Wonderful, that's great to hear, thank you.
Yeah, I just want to make a comment on that. In the past, when there has been things that have affected the city and the county, no matter which city it is, because we have more than the one city, we do work together with our lobbyists. If they have lobbyists or advocates or whatnot, we work with them to, because the more people advocating for whatever, whether it's an appropriation or a policy change, the better. So I think we're already doing that when it's appropriate and necessary. My only concern with adding it to the official agenda in this scenario is not that I don't think we should do it or be having those conversations, but it is not a conversation we had with the city of Sebastian, and I don't want our other cities to feel like this is something that's unique to the relationship between the county and the city of Vero Beach. So I would just caution that when you add it specifically, it makes it appear, rightly or wrongly, that this is something that we would do with Vero, but we wouldn't do with Sebastian or Fellsmere. And I think it's kind of already covered in that overall umbrella policy of working together as a community, as a whole, when these things come up. Because I know we have worked with the city of Fellsmere on some different things. We've worked with, as you pointed out, the city of Vero Beach, and there's been times when we worked with the city of Sebastian, whether it's, and then even Indian River Shores most recently on some of the beach stuff. So I would just caution the perception of that. I don't think that it's necessarily needed to be on an agenda officially, because it's already kind of happening. And I think as those things arise, then we have those discussions intergovernmentally. So that would be my only concern.
Well, well said and well agreed. We do have a history of a better relationship that's being projected, and we have had the opportunity to work together when we can, when the issue does not place itself in a different polar concept, when we're getting something accomplished, when it's territorial. So I caution again, why would we want to make that an issue with one municipality when we haven't in the past with another municipality that we've already met with, as well as the fact that I think it's already being done. It's kind of like discussing mutual aid with law enforcement. You know, we often talk about different departments and responsiveness on borderlines. The mutual aid that we have in law enforcement with the municipalities and with the sheriff's office is an excellent relationship. Again, every once in a while there's territorial discussions, but I think the sheriff can speak on that as well. As far as fire services, the same thing. We have a municipality that has its own fire service, and we often see those fire trucks working together, both departments. And the same way with the interrelationship with the municipalities. When it fits, we wear it, and we do it, and they have had access, and we have worked together ostensibly quite well. So I don't even think it's an issue to have to be on the agenda to be discussed.
I think we probably wouldn't get to it anyway, but I think it's something that's, if we do get to it, worth asking, and we can do it going forward for everyone, and we can certainly, staff can backtrack to Sebastian, since we've had only one meeting.
Well, maybe the better discussion is, the city of Sebastian did make some comments related to how they're advocating through the League of Cities, especially for septic sewer. We made some comments about how we're advocating through FAC for similar things. So maybe instead of it being specific to the use of our lobbyists and that type of thing, because again, we've kind of done that where it's beneficial to the community as a whole. I mean, because at the end of the day, we are paying for them. So they're going to be advocating for us. But I think what you're trying to accomplish, and maybe the better way to approach that conversation is just, if there is time, to ask the council members what it is that they are advocating for through their League of Cities, what are the issues that they're focused on through their association. So when we go back to our legislative conference, which is coming up in November, we can also help bring some weight to those discussions, because the Association of Counties and the League of Cities has a tendency to advocate for, have similar policies. Obviously, there's some that will be, because we will have disagreements on, but it would be good to know what they're doing in that aspect and in that realm, and what they're working on, maybe from a legislative perspective. So maybe that's where the conversation happens. And then if something grows out of it that's common between the both of us that we can add more weight by banding together on, that will happen organically. I'm a little leery of the perception of offering our lobbyist on an agenda to a city that we haven't really had that discussion with others. But I think your point is trying to talk about legislative things, so maybe we just leave it more broad that way.
No, thanks, I appreciate it. I think that's a good suggestion and a good approach. Thank you.
I understand. I completely agree with Commissioner Adams, Commissioner Fleischer with regards to this, because I think it's something, with this, like we did with Sebastian, I want to get to real problems, real nuts and bolts, things that we could work on together for the betterment of the citizens of Indian River County and the citizens of respective municipalities. And I think if that time comes where we have a big legislative issue, we can bring it up at further meetings, because I want to, I don't want these to be, we talked about at least twice a year. I think that's what we ought to do. And also, I've got a great friendship and a great line of communication with both Mayor Fred Jones. We talk pretty regular, and then with Mayor Coutinho. And I hope the next chairman and the next mayors of the respective cities, and I even talk with Joel Tyson. I've seen him twice in a week, so quite a bit. So I would hope that line of communication stays open to talk about problems that we may need to get together. And we've also, I believe, left the door open for special call meetings if we need to, if something comes up that's really serious, or where we can do that. So
Together.
I think we're on the right track. Anything else? That? I guess we need a motion on this.
Staff would recommend that you approve the topics for discussion at the joint meeting with the City of Vero Beach. And I just want to, I don't know if I added, Tom Lanahan will also be our facilitator again with the Treasure Coast Regional Planning Council.
Mr. Chair, I'll be happy to make a motion to approve
Second that.
as presented by the county administrator.
I'll second that. I have a motion by Commissioner Fleischer, seconded by myself. Anybody from the public wish to comment on the motion? Seeing none, Commissioners, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Mr. Administrator, item 11B, 4-county joint resolution.
So, Mr. Chair, this is merely the resolution announcing that, and noticing the fact that pursuant to statute, that we will be holding the 4-county meeting. If you recall, the meeting date is on October 27th. Each of you received and have provided your input. Just for the public's record, the public, the items for discussion: biosolids, waste to energy. Looking at the presentation, I think an unsolicited bid that St. Lucie County received from FPL, the regional impact, potential participation, septic to sewer, an issue we know that's affecting a lot of communities with the new House Bill 1379 in terms of what's the potential funding opportunities by 2030, legislative approach. 3, affordable housing, again, Live Local, Senate Bill 102 from the county's perspective. Remove the permitted by right in terms of residential and an industrial zoning district. Number 4, the medical examiner facility update. While we've received funds, for the design, engineering, and that nature, as we moved forward for the construction in 2025, there will be the discussion with legislative delegation members in terms of, is 2025 a good year for an appropriations request? And then, as always, home rule. I think every local government wants to make sure that we're not preempted and from doing what, the citizens many times rely on us for, not Tallahassee.
Commissioners, any questions, of County Administrator?
Mr. Chair?
We have a busy week of meetings.
We do.
Mr. Chair?
All right,
Move approval as presented by the county administrator.
I have a motion by Commissioner Fleischer. I have a second. Second by Commissioner Adams. Anybody from the public wish to comment on the motion? Seeing none, Commissioners, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0.
That's it.
All right, with that, wow, I think we're done. Next meeting, October 31st, 2023. I believe that is Halloween. Well, you don't have to dress up because most of us don't need to dress up, but it's Halloween.
I'm already
So
back.
wear your best Halloween outfit. So any questions, anything else? All right, Commissioner, with that, we stand adjourned.